Hey y'all, this is Chance Wise coming to you from the Drag Lab. This is not a tutorial, but there is an announcement for a new tutorial coming out before too long. You see over my shoulder here I got the sewing machine up and a whole bunch of fabric ready to go with some new costumes. Wow. Get your E6000 out. I'm going to start doing some costuming tutorials. And I hope a bunch of kings watch that, because coming out in jeans and a t-shirt just don't cut it. Sorry, but it don't. Y'all need a costume. And maybe you'll learn the difference between street clothes and what a costume is. That's my hope. So, it dawned on me this morning that I've done a lot of tutorials about like different king things, like facial hair, makeup, binding, some other things, and I know some kings are watching that are just brand new, starting out. Some trans men also. I've gotten some tips from my videos, which is why I do this, because I didn't have any help when I started out. I learned everything by myself, so that's why I do tutorials. And it dawned on me this morning that I've done all these tutorials, but I haven't done an introduction, So I'm sure at least one king is like, okay, these tips are all helpful and everything, but who the fuck are you? So this is the Who the Fuck is Chance Wise video. So how do you do? Chance was born in 2006. And I chose the name Chance because, well, for a few reasons. Like, it's not a dime a dozen name. For one, it's not completely uncommon, but it's not like, every other person you meet is not Chance. Like, I've been in the drag scene for almost 6 years now, and I've maybe run into 5 or 6 kings that use the name Chance. So it's a different name. I also chose the name Chance because it's one of the most positive words in the English language. I mean, it really is. And I am an eternal optimist. I mean, you would never know what to look at. My very stereotypical butch face, which is like, that's my normal expression. Like, my friends will know I'm in a great mood, but they'll see my face and be like, "Are you okay? Are you in a bad mood?" So that's where Chance came from. And it's kind of funny, but people who knew me before I started doing drag still call me Terry, and still call me like Tear. And everybody I've met since I started doing drag just calls me Chance. So I have like aliases, It's kind of cool. But it's, when you're in the drag scene and you spend so much time with different people, as your drag persona, it just feels alien to call somebody by their real name. Like, my good friend Rachel is, or her real name is Mikey. And it's just like, if we're hanging out outside of drag, it's just kind of like, Mikey? It just doesn't feel right. So, yeah, we just, call each other by our stage names all the time. Just a common thing in drag. So, yeah. So Chance was born in 2006. And it was nothing more than putting on some facial hair, taking some quick pictures in the bathroom mirror, and putting them online. I started going to this club in Gainesville called the UC, and I would watch the Queens perform, and I would think, yeah, I could do that. I could totally get away with that. I could rock this place. I could do this. And then I met this one drag queen, Anastasia Stevens, and I had gone up to her after her show because she had this hat, and I wanted to tell her all about this hat because it was just fabulous. I loved it. I wanted that hat. But it's like I walked over and I said hey, and she ran her fingers over the top of my my mohawk, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're so cute. You should do drag." Well, that was it. I haven't looked back since, really. So she gave me my first show, which was a benefit for her to raise money to do a pageant. And I remember just like it was the scariest thing I had ever done to that point. You know, and I've done some scary shit in my life, you know, but getting out on stage, like I remember it was pitch black when I came out from backstage. You know, it's like couldn't see anything, boom, big ass spotlight right in my face, and I said, ooh. But I managed to get through it, and as soon as I came off the stage, I was like, wow, when can I do that again? You know, I was hooked. It's just an instantaneous need. It's like an addiction, almost. But doesn't have the same dire consequences as, say, heroin. Doesn't even have the same high. But, yeah, so that was how Chance began. You know, and I performed in Jacksonville with Twisted Entertainment for a couple years. Not quite 2 years, but it was pretty close to 2 years. And then I kind of moved around Florida a lot. I went down to Vero Beach and I performed down there for 10 months. But when I was down there, I was living with another king, and I learned a little bit about costuming then. Not a whole lot, but I learned the difference between street clothes and costumes, which is kind of a big lesson that kings need to learn. So that was good for me. And then I came back up north, and after we broke up, it was like one of those ugly breakups where you get so angry that you do shit you would never do. Yeah, so, and then I got hooked up with this one drag king, not hooked up with, but, who wanted to be my drag parent. And if I can pass anything on to new kings in this video, this is it, right here. If you're new in drag and somebody wants to be your drag parent, a drag parent can be an amazing thing. They can help you with every aspect of drag. But you gotta know who they are. I was in the space where I was just kind of like, okay, you're giving me attention, I will be your drag child. And it came out not too long after that this person had the worst reputation ever, and this person wound up just being a joke, period, in and out of drag. So their reputation kind of passed on to me a little bit, and even though it's been over 2 years since I parted ways with this person, I still get looks from people in that area like, weren't you this person's drag child? It's like, yeah, but you know, I learned about that real quick, and that's where Wise came from. That's where Wise came from. I've only been Chance Wise for about 1.5 years, because I've learned so much in the last almost 6 years that about people in general, because you know, there's every life lesson is right there, really. So I learned a lot in the last 5 years about who to be around. And if you're brand new in drag and you want a drag parent, just hang around drag for a while. Find your niche in drag and choose a drag parent who you know has a good reputation and knows what they're doing and can help you progress and not be a hindrance on your performing. So that was like the biggest mistake I've made in the drag scene yet. And luckily I've gotten past that now. Some people can't get past that, but I have. And it takes meeting the right people, and you know the right people when you meet them. Like, I met this one king in Jacksonville, AJ Menendez, and I learned more from him in 2 weeks than I learned in the entire 3 years I had been doing drag up to that point. And it's been a wild 2 years. I started learning how to do makeup. I found different ways to do facial hair. I costume like crazy, because in reality costuming is a big part of the show. People come to see what kind of outrageous costumes you're gonna have. So, costume. If I can pass that, if I can pound that into some motherfuckers' heads, costume, blue jeans is not entertaining. Come on, costume, and pick the right drag parent. So that's my message for the week. But yeah, Chance-Wise has struggled. Chance-Wise doesn't have a huge name because I traveled around a lot, and I never established a home base. Like, I tried to do that last year. Like, I performed at this place for 8 months, basically for tips, because it was brand new to the drag scene, and they had never heard of drag kings, so I wanted to do my little part and kind of open the door for kings a little bit, and I did. You know, I did a good job of that. I know I did. I busted my ass to do it, and a lot of people came up to me and wanted to do drag. A lot of girls wanted to come do drag, which was, you know, big deal. So, but that kind of blew up in my face, and that's why I took some time off. But we won't go there. So anyway, yeah, that's where Chance came from, and that's where Chance is right now. That's where I am right now, and hopefully I'll be back on stage soon. And not this year, but next year, go for a big title. Yeah. So keep your eyes out for some costuming tutorials, and costume. Alright, so that's basically it. This is Chance-Wise coming to you from the Drag Lab.